Hello, this is the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and you are listening to Putting You Over. Yeah. Hello, this is the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and you are listening to Putting You Over. Yeah.
This guy's called the Standing Streamer. Real stand-up kind of guy.
Hey, Brian Zane from Wrestling with Regret, and you're watching Putting You Over.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. This is Putting You Over. I am the standing streamer, and holy crap, am I busy tonight. I have been in the live, and it's still going on. It's right here. Nobody can see it. I can see it. I can hear it. Actually, I can't hear it. I could if I wanted to. But I am recording it. It's a live Q&A with Nick Foley in the Undisputed Era for a great cause and whatnot. Thank you to Wrestling News World for that. So we have that to talk about a little bit. If I can remember everything that had been discussed before I went live. We also will touch on Synergy Wrestling and what they're doing for first responders. We'll touch a little bit about that tonight, maybe even a little bit, delve into it a little bit more at the end after our interview with the Jordan Oliver, member of Injustice on MLW, Sauce God himself. Slow it down, kid. We're going to talk to him here tonight, and I'm going to do it without my dry erase board because my kids have dried every single fucking marker I have, dried it right up. I don't have it. All my notes are here on my phone, and that's just how it's going to go tonight. So I thank everybody for being here. I'm going to, put out some tweets and all that fun stuff, and then we'll call Jordan and get him on. Okay. Pull up my chat in case people are chatting. What's up, Eva? Yes, hello. Thank you for coming in. Thank you. Greatly appreciated. I'm gonna call Jordan Oliver here. I feel so scattered because I've been in this chat and now I'm really upset because now they got a bunch of kids on and I'm totally missing all the fun. But I am recording it and it's great. And I really wish I could play it for you guys, and I really wish you guys could hear it and all that fun stuff, but it's great. But I am running a little bit behind. I told Jordan Oliver I'd call him at 9:15. I'm gonna fill up my beer. Actually, maybe I should go to the bathroom first. Maybe go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. Fill up my beer. Call Jordan Oliver. Does that sound good for everyone? Eva, what do you think?
Hello.
I hear you. I'm just setting up. Okay, perfect. Awesome. You know what's weird, Jordan? You know what's weird
What's up?
is I type in Jordan Oliver. I type in what I'm supposed to type in on Skype, and there's two names that come up, and one of them has a little icon of you, I think, in a wrestling ring, and the other one has a blank, and it's nothing else. And so I click the one with the one with the icon, and I call it, and I'm like, no answer. So then I DM you, and I'm like, I'm ready. Are you ready? And then you go, yeah. So I call it again. I'm like, no answer. I'm like, oh man, what did I do now? So I was like, I'll just call the other one and see who we get. And sure enough, here you are. So it worked. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's weird.
yeah, it's technology. I tell you, every time I do this show, something goes wrong. And the camera you're seeing right
Really?
now is like this one. It's like this is just the Skype camera. Like this is not
Okay.
the Twitch camera. There's another camera. I have a whole elaborate setup that means really
Right.
nothing to me. Uh, first of all, thank you for taking the time to spend on a Saturday night. I mean, I guess there's nothing much more to do, right? So
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess, right? Um, so I just yeah, so I said thank you. I'm running behind because I was doing this thing for Wrestling News World, and this I'm gonna name drop here with the Mick Foley and the Undisputed Era, and I was in the Q&A, and I was like, oh, I gotta leave, and I ditched them. But you know, you're more important. You're more important to me.
Obviously.
Yes, yes, you are the sauce god. You are the slow down kid.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, you are. And I realize I have to fix my it's on my end. It's my camera over there so we can see your face a little better. So I'll ask you a question and maybe
Yeah.
you can just talk because you said you like to talk and elaborate while I
Yeah,
run
yeah.
around and fix that so we see your beautiful face on the screen perfectly. And I'm looking at my phone tonight too. Here's another thing. I love to talk too, as I said. Here's another thing. I'm looking at my phone tonight. Normally I don't. I have a dry erase board up here, but my kids stole all the markers and they all dried out, and I can't do it. So all my notes are here. So I'm not ignoring you and following my social media. I'm actually reading notes. So
Yeah, it's cool. That's
so yeah.
all good, dude.
Why don't you let me think. What icebreaker would I like to go with? How about let us know what does wrestling mean to you? Because I listened to another podcast you did and I feel really bad. I can't remember who it was, but you talked about what wrestling means to people, and it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And somebody of your caliber, your style, and your upbringing, I guess, is how we're going to get to it. Some people might look at what you do as not quote unquote wrestling. And
Sure.
so you just want to touch on that for a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, to me, like, in the sense of, like, what does wrestling mean? It's
Right.
like, do you mean in-ring aspect or just in general? Because to me, wrestling means everything.
Just
You know
the
what I
whole
mean?
package.
But yeah. So I think just when people say when I say at least like wrestling means to me, I just think it's just an athletic contest. I don't think there's really any barriers to what wrestling is. I think it's much similar to like what's a movie? Is a movie a 30-minute thing, an hour? Is it could a movie be 5 minutes? Like what's the actual like idea of it, or a movie can be comedy or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
etc. And I think wrestling's very similar. I don't think there's any really explanation of what is wrestling because wrestling's not wrestling.
I think it's like it's in the eye of the beholder, and
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
wrestling to one person might not be wrestling to another. So I'll say this in a way that I hope isn't insulting, but somebody might look at something you do as a wrestler and think to themselves,
sure.
that's not wrestling. That kid is just
Yeah,
basically putting his life on the line every single time he steps into the ring. That's not wrestling. And
yeah,
that's not where I come from. But I know
sure.
people that think like that, and I know people that talk like that. And
Yeah, and that's okay.
go ahead.
I never ever get stressed about someone saying like the few select clips that people have seen of me where
Right.
where it's not like hold for hold wrestling or whatever.
Yep.
And I think that's okay if that's the content of mine that they've they've been presented with. Maybe they saw the minute spot with Blake Christian, or the another minute spot with Blake Christian, or something like that, and their thought is, oh well, this guy's just kind of dancing around, and they like to see more Ric Flair and Steamboat stuff. Well, I also have matches where I do that sort of stuff.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I have matches where with Chris Dickinson, I had a strong style match. You know what I mean? Me and Blake Christian, we had a high flying match. Acid Cup Night 1, me and Ellis Taylor had a technical wrestling match. Acid Cup Night 2, me and Nick Gage had a hardcore match.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So I can do all of it, and I really don't care. Like if that's the product that they've seen of mine and that's how they see it, then that's okay too. But if they want to go check out, if they're interested in me, I always have something for everybody because, like I said, I love all wrestling.
Yeah. I agree. If they're just gonna take like the first snippet they see and make their judgment on that, I mean that
Yeah.
could be a good thing, but it also can be a bad thing. It's like you see something, they're like, oh, that's not what I like. I'm done. I'm done with this Jordan Oliver kid, and I'm moving on. And that's not the type of fan or the person that I think you would want to attract, anyways. So it doesn't matter.
Absolutely not.
You know?
Absolutely not. The fans that I have right now, like I have I'm building, I feel like a small cult following. You know, like there's some people that I see every single show I'm at. Those motherfuckers are there and they're there to see me.
Yeah.
So.
And the other thing is, I also apologize. I'd like to jump around, and when you say things that make me want to ask another question, I try to put these bullet points down on my phone, and then you say something, and I'm like, oh, I want to talk about this now. So I apologize.
I'm cool with just talking.
Perfect. I had a Colin West from Synergy Wrestling on here, and we were talking about you because that's not where I first saw you, but I was covering them, and I saw you in a match. It was like, oh my gosh, there were like 8 wrestlers in it. It was from.
It's probably best to wait.
Yeah, yes, it was. And so we were talking about you. I think it was the end of the show, and I said, I'm gonna list a bunch of wrestlers. Give me one name or one word that comes to mind when I say these wrestlers. And we started talking about you, and he said, Colin West said, you're the one person that it's in Synergy, I guess, that when you come out, the people just love you. They just love you, like unconditionally, are all for you. And then on the other hand, your quote unquote character, which we'll touch on in MLW, people hate you and hate you with passion. And those two extremes, to me, are why I enjoy you and why I contacted you, because I saw you in MLW, and I'm like, well, I like this Oliver kid. I like this Injustice thing that we got going. And then I saw you in Synergy, and I'm like, this kid is nuts, man. So what is it like to balance those two aspects?
So I don't even think about it really anymore, because I try to think like the person that I am as a human being is just who I like to present in the ring, you know? So like maybe sometimes it's a little more extreme than others, you know, like obviously toned up. If I'm presented to be a bad guy, maybe it's turned up a little bit, but vice versa. But I always like to treat the fans the same way they treat me. So like if I came out of Synergy and the fans started flipping me off, then I would start flipping them off too. But it just so happens that those people they like me. They put their hands out and they want a high five. So I just try to always go at it like that. Like, okay, if these people like me, then they're gonna like me for whatever reason they like me, and if they don't, I don't need them to be liking me anyway.
Right.
Let's
we talked about earlier. Yeah. So you'd say, and this is the gist. This is the feel I get from you. There's the character Jordan Oliver and the person that you are, Jordan Oliver, the character and the person are very close. They're one and the same almost.
Yes.
You know, like tone up or tone down or whatever the case may be. And I talked about this with someone else on here before. I think that makes the best wrestler. I think the closer you can be to yourself as a wrestler in the ring, the better you're going to be perceived and taken. And I think that's the way I would have it. If I
Yeah,
was,
I mean,
you know.
that's how I feel. Cause I mean, when you, I want to bring myself to a point in wrestling, like per se, like when you see a movie star, right? Like I don't know who your favorite actor is. I don't really like. I don't care. I don't have a favorite actor. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like per se, if you saw a movie star and you were like Kevin Spacey, I guess, and you were like, yo, I really like that guy. That guy's awesome. I want to see him in more movies. And then eventually it gets to the point where you want to learn about him as a person.
Right.
You know what I mean? You care about the person, not the character he's playing in those movies. And I kind of want to I want people to feel like that for me in wrestling. I don't want them to just like, I really like his in-ring work. You know what I mean? I want people to like me like how I liked CM Punk when I was growing up and
There
shit
you
like
go.
that.
Now we're
Like
talking.
I care about the person,
Yeah.
not the wrestler.
Um, as you were coming up, your upbringing, your childhood, um, how did your upbringing and childhood steer you and gear you into the life that you're in now?
Um, you know, when I was growing up, we didn't have like a whole lot of money
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, and my parents they tried really hard, but unfortunately my sister had a kid pretty young, like 16, and I don't maybe 11 or 12 at that time, I don't remember. So they really couldn't give me all the attention that I was seeking for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much from 12 till this year. So I just fell really hard into wrestling for those years of my life from 12 to like now still, and it's just like wrestling kind of it was just all I had to a point, just wrestling and my grandfather. So I started backyarding when I was like 7, and then I started pro wrestling, like having actual like being on actual shows when I was like 15. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So for me, it was just always wrestling, wrestling, wrestling. I just I gotta be successful in wrestling because I need to be better than what I am right now. I need to get out of the ghetto. I need to be in a good place. You know what I mean? So I just fucking was always focused on that. So when I turned 18, I decided that I needed to move out of New York, Newburgh, New York, because I don't drive, and it's there's no wrestlers that live around me, so it's really hard to get to shows.
Yeah.
So I moved to Philadelphia with Ellis Taylor, um, so that we could travel together and train at CZW and all these other places to get ourselves out more.
Yeah. So 15 years old, you were in a match before you were even trained, right?
Yes, yeah, I wrestled Coco Beware untrained.
Wow. But it became that natural to you.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, it did. I don't think anyone noticed.
Yeah. Growing up, I think all of us growing up as kids, loved wrestling, always did the backyard wrestling in one form or another. And for someone like yourself, that just came natural. And like you said, with the guidance of your grandfather in the direction, that's where you want to go. So you move
Yeah,
out, well,
yeah,
if you're 15, at 15, you have your first match, nobody notices. From 15 to 18, let's say, where do you go from
yeah.
that first match to be like, oh man, I need to train? Or somebody comes to you and says, hey, kid, slow down. Let's train you.
So I have my story is so fucking nuts, yo. Um, so I wrestled one match. It was like a scramble with like Casey Navarre, like Sunny Kiss was in
Yeah.
there, like a bunch of people or whatever. It was like a scramble. Then my second match was against the promoter, and then my third match, my second match was against the promoter, and I got arrested after the show. But then the third match was against Coco Beware.
Did he
And
still have his
Coco
bird
Beware,
then? Did he come out with his bird?
he did have a bird. It was a tag match.
Oh.
It was me and a guy named TJ Blade versus Coco Beware and the Jersey Kid.
Yeah.
And the match went all right. It was fine. It was it wasn't sick,
Right.
but it was fine. But after the match, Jersey Kid was like, "Oh, I think you're really good. I would love if you came and like trained with me or something." So like I was like, "Yeah, of course, that'd be awesome." And then like the next few days, he like hit me up and was like, like, hey, do you want to come stay with me for the summer and I'll take you to schools and teach you how wrestling is. So I just moved in with this guy when I was like 16 for like maybe like, I don't know, like 6 months or something, like a long period of time where he just like took me under his wing, let me live in his house. He has like a whole family too, like a kid and a wife. So, and he just take me to all these wrestling schools. He like taught me how to like, like springboard and like all this crazy stuff. And then after, like, because I only trained with him for like a year or whatever, and I stopped training with him when I was like 17. So
he must have saw
pretty
something.
quickly. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. I don't know.
Right. But you're just going with the flow. It is crazy. It is a crazy story when I was researching you, and it's just
Yeah, this is all I've ever wanted.
yeah.
This is it for me. Like if I couldn't wrestle, like if a doctor told me I couldn't wrestle right now, I would probably kill myself, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
And well, you're there. First of all, you're in MLW, and I don't care what anyone says.
yeah, God bless.
I don't care what anybody says. If you're not watching MLW, you should be watching it. I mean, I know with the pandemic, you guys haven't been able to do what you need to do, but it's really good. It's top notch. What you guys did over in Tijuana with AAA, that's some good shit you guys are doing. And you're part of Injustice, which is why don't you explain Injustice to us a little bit, the faction and what you guys quote unquote stand for, I guess.
Of course, yeah. So Injustice is a faction of myself, Myron Reed, and Cotto Brazil, or Snoop Strikes. And pretty much we're just trying to fix the issues in wrestling, like the issues that you have to be a certain amount of years in wrestling to succeed. You have to have a certain stature, a certain build, a certain color. You have to look a certain way. You have to shake the right people's hands. And we're just trying to change that. We don't want this business to be the same. Like it was pretty hard. It's pretty hard to succeed in wrestling as a young dude right now.
Yeah.
And we're all pretty young. We're all like 20, 25, like we're all pretty young, and it's just like we don't want the next generation of wrestling to have to suffer with the same shit that we had to suffer through and I know it's even worse for the generation before us where they had to get beaten up and all this and fucking shit in their bags and whatnot,
Yeah.
So we're just trying to take away all the injustices of wrestling, just all the negatives, all the stuff that really shouldn't be happening.
Well, the ironic thing is, like, you guys are very young, and you guys you work well. You guys do promos well. You gel together. Like, you guys, not like you guys specifically, but also there's a ton of other younger wrestlers out there, whether they're in promotions or in the indie scene, that they're the future of wrestling. So
yeah, young are coming up.
To hold anyone down because of this Jordan Oliver kid, he's only been wrestling for 2 years, I can't do this or that with him, to hold you guys down because of that experience is just an injustice. Look at that. An injustice to the industry, in my opinion. And you guys, I just think you guys are doing a great job as a faction over there and stuff.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. How did MLW discover you? Because you were over in CZW at that before you went there, right?
Yeah. So it's so funny. So at CZW, I won the CZW Wired TV title.
Youngest champion.
Yeah. So it's like one of the first established belts that I've ever won. So it's a pretty big deal in my career and whatnot. But my first defense on a main show, an actual CW show, was against Andrew Everett. Andrew Everett's a superstar, so athletic and so crazy. We had a spectacular match, but the finish is nuts, to be honest. So Ellis Taylor, one of my tag partners, is in the ring. He's flat back in the middle of the ring, and Andrew Everett's on the top rope. I'm on the apron. Andrew Everett shooting star press, right? I springboard up, catch him mid-air right before he hits the ground. RKO. So we're both midair catch, and it just kind of like that was the finish. And when I kind of like got a little bit of buzz on the internet,
Yeah.
and then they just hit me up, and they wanted to like see what was my deal.
Like Court Bauer calls you and says, excuse me, Mister, is this the kid who hit the springboard midair RKO? Yes. We
Oh yeah, that is me.
we'd like to speak to you.
Yeah,
Was
pretty
that how
much.
is that how this finish? All right, let's try to say this without breaking kayfabe, which I love to keep kayfabe. Is that how the finish was supposed to go down? Like,
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, nice. That is a hard
Yeah.
move to pull off.
Yeah, we didn't we I have a vid. It's crazy, so nuts. I have a video on my phone. We tried it once.
Right.
Like we were like we have to attempt it. I mean, because if it's not possible,
Right.
who knows?
No point in
So
doing
we attempted it once, and it was like perfect. And we didn't want to put any like bad juju on it, so we were just like, okay, if it doesn't happen in the ring, we'll figure it out.
We'll just go with the flow.
Yeah, because he didn't want to come up with a second option because he thought if we had a second option that we would bail.
Yeah.
And I think he was right. 'Cause
Yeah,
we just had to get it right.
I'd have to agree. If you guys had a backup plan, you might have gone with that instead.
Yeah.
You
No,
definitely.
we went with it, and it was great.
Yeah. And I saw that. It
What?
came off top notch. And that's what got you discovered, huh?
Pretty
I mean,
much.
discovered by MLW, I guess is the right words. Because you were already CZW. Yeah. CZW has a long list of phenomenal names to come out of there. You know?
Yeah.
So,
it was like MLW really opened up a lot of doors for me because without MLW, I probably wouldn't be. I mean, without CCW too, but I probably wouldn't be on like AAW and like GCW, like going to the UK. I feel like MLW really broke me into like a lot of different opportunities.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Do you have that flexibility? I mean, maybe you can't even comment on this, but do you have that flexibility as a talent under MLW to go work for these other promotions like the AAW and GCW and whatnot?
Yeah. So they don't really limit me on much other than like the I cannot wrestle for like WWE or promotions of that level.
Right.
Because obviously I'm contracted to MLW, but I can do all the independent shows that I want to do, unless it's on a same show date as them. But otherwise, I can do whatever I want, really. So I'm pretty blessed because, for me, my legacy I think, is in the indies. I just a big part of my my favorite thing in wrestling is, I don't know if you ever like paid attention to it or not, but like I love wrestling for a long ass time. Like
yeah,
I have had like 20, 40-minute matches at this point. You know what I mean? Like last year, every week on CBW Dojo Wars, where it's like a student show, they have like 5 people there maybe. I was going there and I was wrestling these students for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, just because I fucking wanted to. I didn't have to, you know what I mean? But I just love that sort of shit. So that's why I love wrestling on the indies. I don't really get that time at MLW, obviously, for it being like a TV program, but I feel like I'm at my best when I'm wrestling for a long time.
Well, yeah, and you get stronger as the match goes. And the other thing I take out of what you just said is it's less of quote unquote work or a job for you, as more of just like fun. Like that's what you love to do.
Yeah.
So
I just fucking love this shit, dude. It's like
I can see it
no
on your
way
face.
around it. Like wrestling is just the best on the planet.
I live vicariously. This is one thing. This is when I started doing these type of interview shows with things geared around wrestling in any manner.
Yeah.
I like to live vicariously through the people I interview and all the other stuff. Because I never did it, and I should have done it. I should have gone into wrestling, but I never did.
Yeah.
So I can see on your face, and I can feel it. It's like coming through the camera, your love for it. And I'm just like, oh, I want to get out there and go do something. No matter what it is, just get out there and do it. Like, Just go do it.
Yeah.
You only got one life. This is it. You know?
Yeah, I'm a very optimistic person, and my thoughts my whole life is just like, just do whatever you want, because if you don't, you're gonna regret it. So I've always just literally just done whatever I wanted. I never even like second guess myself, because similar to that spot, the shooting star RKO, if I second guess myself, I probably wouldn't go full throttle at it. And like I'm about to be 21 in a few weeks, and if I died at 21, I would be very happy.
Yeah.
I've done phenomenal things at such a young age. I'm very grateful and blessed for everything I have.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen. But I see where you're going with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Speaking of where you're gonna go and the future and things that you can see, is there a ceiling for Jordan Oliver? What is Jordan Oliver's plans? Like, where would he like to go? Like, you talked about strong style. Would you like to go over to Japan in the MLW and Noah have?
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
When man, I love fucking wrestling, but I love Japanese wrestling. One of the first ever indie matches that I saw was Ricochet versus Pac,
Yeah.
Dragon Gate. And that match, like, it brought me up to like a second level of loving wrestling. It's my absolute dream, my number one dream in professional wrestling, to compete in the New Japan Best of Super Juniors.
Yeah.
If I could do that one time, then I would be, elated. I would be very, very happy. That's the number one goal. But if I can top that, if I can do better than just get in the tournament, I would love to win the tournament and also win the belt.
Yeah.
So
That's
my
ever,
dream.
Yeah, don't ever sell yourself short, man. Ever. You know?
Yeah.
You set a goal. I work with kids, so this is now my teacher thing's coming in. So you set a goal, you hit that ceiling, you go through it, you keep fucking going. You set another one.
You got to.
Go again.
Yeah, you have to.
There's no need to stop.
You never slow down.
Never. Yeah, I don't care what they say. Don't ever slow down, kid. Who said that? Where did that come from? Slow down, kid.
Jim.
Oh, Jim fucking Cornette.
So actually, though, Jim Cornette didn't say slow down, kid. I think the person that termed that was fucking Fit Finley. I think Fit Finley tagged it like slow down, kid. And then it was just like a thing.
Yeah.
But it started with Jim Cornette, and then Fit Finley got it.
Yeah. I know I've heard a story through the wrestling circles. Like I watched a podcast or I watched something, and I know that I know for a fact Hogan used to say that in the ring all the time to people. Oh, slow down, kid. Slow down, brother. And but I'm just like, I just slow down, kid. I was looking at your pro wrestling tees. I was getting the links together for the stream, so I checked out your shirts, and I'm like, slow down, kid. Oh, I like that shirt because it's just so ironic. Because you're not gonna slow down.
Yeah.
Nor should you.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I apply that to in-ring and just life in general. Just always keep it pushing.
Yeah. Do you keep up with today's product the best you can?
Of course.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
you love
I
wrestling.
love
What a stupid
stuff.
question to ask.
Yeah, if I have I always try to watch it. I don't have cable.
Yeah, neither
so
do I.
can't
Nobody
watch
has
it live,
cable.
But I always try to keep up on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I don't have cable either. I keep up on it in one way or another, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll find a way. I'll find a way to keep up with it. Oh, before I touch on some of the off
Oh, good for
promotion
you.
type of stuff. I was because I write for WrestlingNewsWorld.com, and
Yeah.
I was sitting down to get ready to write a thing for the anthology of Loki today, and I'm like, oh shit, there's Pulp Fusion came out. That's right, they got this digital short series I missed out on, so I had to go back and write all 3 of those episodes. So I watched them all, and I watched them all. Your first video of that, first of all, it's a great concept because you
Cool,
know,
yeah.
with the pandemic, you know, not much you guys can do. So I like where it's going. But your first video for Pulp Fusion is like it literally looked like you were standing outside, I don't know, checking the mail or something, and you just go, this is corny as hell, and then the camera just cuts off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's Jordan Oliver. Like, I think that video might have just been taken by who knows who. It just might be on his phone. That might not have nothing to do with MLW for all I know. I mean, and it's great stuff. And then I get to the third episode, and the third installment or episode, whatever you want to call. And now I'm getting the Injustice. Now I'm getting the Jordan Oliver look, the black and white. You're sitting what looks like someone's backyard, looks like my backyard. You're sitting there, and you guys, well, not to spoil it for everyone, but you guys are, you know, teasing a new member and whatnot. It's just great shit, man. I'm eating it up is what I'm doing. I'm just eating it up.
Yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
yeah, so that, I mean, what other tips during this stupid pandemic do you have? I mean, you guys got that going for you. Like, has it evolved how you work? Because now you're working as a wrestler, has nothing to do with your moves, your in-ring stuff. Like, everything's changed now.
Yeah, wow, I didn't even think about that.
Right?
That's nuts. I don't know, because I've always wanted to be like a promo guy.
You do a good
so
job.
I've always tried to. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always wanted to be a promo guy, so I just always tried to get that part of my game up. So actually, like when this happened, I was very excited when I got texted like, "Oh, we're gonna be doing this promo series." I was like, "Oh, I need to be on that shit every week."
Yeah, right. And I mean, it's the best, you guys. You know what you got going, and it sucked because you know MLW does tape and some other promotions tape as well. So you guys got a little ahead of the game with the pandemic because you had things already in the can.
Yeah.
And I just kept hoping. I was like, oh crap! I hope it's all done by the time, so they can get back to
I know.
work.
I
You know,
with you.
right? And
We actually, it's so nuts because the day the Mexico show was filmed,
right.
the AAA show, that's the day that every single one of my shows got canceled.
Oh,
That was like the day that COVID like killed wrestling.
COVID. We joked on here one night about there's got to be a wrestler that comes up with a move named after the COVID, or like the COVID clutch, or the COVID cutter, or someone's gonna do that, and it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
The time's gonna come. But for indie wrestlers, and I've had I've had a lot on, but I've definitely had a few on since this pandemic, and they're all finding ways and doing the best they can. The times are definitely tough. I mean, I can't really relate, although I know like my job times are tough and things are different, but I can't even imagine like if things just got canceled for me. Like if a day of work got canceled, I don't get paid, period, boom, done, you know? And it just sucks.
It's so bad.
Like what do you do to survive the day?
Well, I'm actually, as much as I'm fucking so like upset and sad about not wrestling, I'm actually pretty grateful for the quarantine, because during quarantine I decided okay, people want to say that I'm skinny. Okay, I won't be skinny anymore. So I just been working out every single day. I put on, the last time you saw me wrestle, the last match you saw of mine was the Mexico show. I was like 175 there.
Yeah.
Right now I sit at 215.
That's
a
pretty
that's all
big
I do.
difference.
Now I just work out. Yeah, I just work out, eat, watch wrestling.
There you go. Play video games?
And just I watch my roommate play video games. I get too mad.
You break shit? Oh, I've been there.
Yeah,
I've definitely been there.
And my fans have been so great. They've been purchasing shirts. Like right now I'm doing a shirt bundle, like a 5 shirt bundle. It's like a sticker, an 8x10, a shirt, and a lanyard. And me and my girlfriend are making all of this shit ourselves, like all DIY. We're printing the shirts, we're making the stickers, we're making the lanyards, we're making everything in it. So, and people have just been eating up. So pretty grateful. That's how I'm like paying bills.
Yeah,
Just merch.
where can you get that stuff? Because when I was researching, all I had was your Pro Wrestling Tees store. Is that the same?
Yeah, so I just sell that stuff through me. Like I just promote it on Twitter,
Okay.
Instagram, and I just have people DM me because I feel like the store process disconnects you from the fans.
Yep.
Like I like selling merch to a person, not a robot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the idea that the fan hits me up and says I want to buy this shirt, we can have a little conversation, and they can buy a shirt from me, so they don't just feel like it's just.
Yeah, you're right. Relatable. It's personable. I'll probably hit you up after this. See what I can snag.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I only got 5 left. I started at 25 at one day, and we got 5 left. So pretty cool.
I better do that. You in the chat, everybody in the chat, you better get on that quickly. Just DM them on Twitter or something. Hell, that's what I did.
Yeah, DMs are open.
DMs are open. I live by DMs open. So, all right. So I'll jump back to the regular promotions. Long time wrestling fan. Love wrestling. Love everything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Something I'd like to ask the people I talk to every once in a while. I'm going to ask you to be in a triple threat match. Okay. You're going to be in a triple threat match, and it's going to be you, and it's going to be somebody from the current times. So you and someone else that's in the wrestling world right now, and somebody from the past. Who would those two people be?
How past? How far past? Does it have to be like?
Doesn't matter to me. Your past. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Current, Will Ospreay. He's my favorite wrestler right now. Yeah. And past, CM Punk, because he's my favorite wrestler ever.
Is he? He's my favorite wrestler ever.
He's the best.
I love him. I love him.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping he comes back. You think he's coming back?
I don't want to get too excited, but I fucking hope so. He's so fucking, man. You know what I mean? Nobody has made me feel about wrestling the way CM Punk has made me feel about wrestling.
Man, we have a lot in common.
Yeah.
I'll get really hyped about it. So if you keep up with the promotion, you got, SmackDown, the hacker gimmick and type of thing that they got going on, right? I hope.
Interesting, right?
Right. Very interesting. I hope for the life of me that it's CM Punk and AJ Lee are the hackers. That's what I'm hoping. I'd give anything for that to happen. Anything.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking nuts. I don't know if you saw Will Ospreay challenged CM Punk to Wrestle Kingdom next year.
Oh, did he? No, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Yeah, and Punk had said in the past that he would come back for that match specifically. Yeah. And then somebody, I think Fight TV tweeted like yesterday, "What's your favorite CM Punk moment of all time?" And CM Punk quoted that it hasn't happened yet.
Ooh.
So
he has,
very interesting.
It is interesting, and he has said that he's only coming back for something big. And
he wants to.
Yeah, Wrestle Kingdom's big, so
huge versus Will Ospreay.
No, that's very huge. That's awesome. Yeah. I could talk CM Punk all day. I love him. It's ironic too. I love him so much. Although he, on my personal Twitter account, for some reason I don't know how this happened. On my personal Twitter account, I only used CM Punk gifs. I'd always answer people in a CM Punk gif because there's so many of them. And I don't know if that's what happened or not, but he blocked me. Like my favorite wrestler blocked me.
He fucking blocked me on my my Twitter when I was a teenager.
Like what, man? He's my favorite wrestler. I never said anything bad about him. I only used like great gifts, the one where he puts it. And all those great ones, and he blocked me. God.
He blocked me after I posted a picture of me, like I was a picture from when I was 12.
Yeah.
He was wrestling at SummerSlam, and I own, actually, I'm pretty sure I'm like in this fucking, I own CM Punk's like kickback covers from the Money in the Bank match.
There you go.
So I dressed up for him for SummerSlam because I was very excited about it. And I posted that picture and he blocked me.
Are you kidding me? I guess it's an honor. I guess we should take it as an honor.
Yeah, it's fine. It's whatever.
Whatever.
He doesn't have me blocked out because I have a new Twitter.
So now let's jump to what we got going on now. And as I said, I write for Wrestling News World. I got a small relationship with Synergy Wrestling, and something that got announced recently, July 11th, Synergy is going to be putting on a charity show for first responders, and you're in that first show. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that like, and how does that come about? Colin wants his best guys, right?
Yeah, Colin just hit me up and said that it was very possible that he'll be running a wrestling show in July, and I was like, I'm down to wrestle.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, and then he sent me the opponents. He asked me, he gave me a list of guys which I would come in for, and I had picked LSG off that list because I think LSG is a very talented professional wrestler, but I know he's gonna kind of a dickhead, so we're gonna see,
Speaking of LSG, since we're talking about him at this moment, I'm gonna have him on the show on June 11th. So, are there any comments you would like to give to that young fella?
Oh, I said suck my dick.
That is exactly why I relate. So, I mean, he likes to throw suck my dick references. He likes CM Punk. He loves wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have you on anytime, man.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be a hell of a match. A hell of a match. I have no idea. Everything is out of whack for me tonight with this COVID, and I have 3 daughters, so life is insane for me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
That's nuts.
Yeah, you should be sorry. It's insane, man.
Yeah, I had a sister, so I know.
Yeah, and so I have 3 of them. I also work in the school system for children with autism, so all week long I'm trying to find a way to manage behaviors without actually being there, and so it's really fucked up, basically. But so I'm a little out of whack, so I don't really know how long we've been going, but I feel like we're nearing a nice natural end to the show, or or at least our spot. But something I always like to do at the end, Jordan, and it's been a pleasure to have you on, is I'm going to give the microphone, the proverbial microphone to you.
Fucking pipe bomb.
Yeah, right? The pipe bomb. Yeah, exactly. And, the floor is yours. You can put over anything you want. You can bury anybody you want. You can do anything you want. It's yours, man. There's no restrictions. So, everybody, Jordan Oliver.
Oh, shit. I wasn't prepared for this. No. I just want to say, thank to all you people. This is for real. All you people that have bought a shirt, bought an 8x10, just maybe tweeted about me or kept my name relevant in some sort of way during this little process where wrestling's not really happening. Right. I really, really appreciate you guys, because without, even just that tweet or even that retweet, it helps me keep my name value up a little bit, because before the COVID happened, I was on a hot streak. And obviously in wrestling, it's very rare that people get on a hot streak. So once it cut off, I kind of, I was worried that I would fall flat, but you people have kept me alive.
Awesome. You've been a pleasure to have on. I really enjoyed talking to you, and you're a lot of fun. And
Thanks.
I just want to say keep up the spirits, keep up the great work. I want to see some phenomenal promos on Pulp. I just want to say Pulp Fiction, but it's not. Pulp Fusion, and we'll be in touch, man. We'll definitely be in touch.
Hell yeah.
So thanks for coming on, and we'll see you around, Jordan.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, man. Later. Awesome. I enjoyed it, man. I don't know. I know he likes to talk. We could have talked all night. We really could have. And I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too, man. Thanks everybody for coming in. WWE Blowout, what's up, brother? Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah.
This guy's called the Standing Streamer. I have the balls to say things that nobody else has the balls to say. The champ is here! Real stand-up kind of guy.
Hey, Brian Zane from Wrestling with Regret, and you're watching Putting You Over.